This is Real Talk with TJ. So yesterday I did a video on two friends that had committed suicide 2 years ago from this week. And I mentioned about me having my own suicidal ideations as recent as December. And I wanted to share some things about it. And even go there in detail of what the plan was. I'm doing this part now, and then I'm going to do the video clip of where I was going to do it at, and the steps that I was going to take. And the reason I'm doing this is for myself to process it, but also to let people know where I was coming from, and what I think might have caused it. This is the hardest video I've ever had to do. But it's the truth. It's authentic, and it's just as raw as it's going to get. And I don't think I'll ever be in that place again. Ever. Don't care what happens. I'm glad I didn't go through with it. I'm glad I did reach out to my friends, and I'm glad I did go into the hospital. There's no shame in going to the hospital. There's no shame in reaching out. And but anyways, I want to go through detail, and then I'll come back and explain some of the things that had happened that had led me up to that point. I just think it's just important, for me to get this out, and it might help somebody else. And I'll go over like some things that I did that really helped me, and some things that were said by some friends that really helped me. Yeah. So I'm going to go there and then come back and discuss it some more. As you see, I am at the Hoover City Hall. This is where the police park, and I was going to pull my car there. I was going to get a gun. I never got a gun, but I was planning on getting one and ending my life there December 31st, right around 11:50 p.m., right before the end of the year. I was telling myself it's best to end the year with a big bang. I'm not sure why that came about, but it did. I guess because at that time everybody would be shooting fireworks, and a gun fire would not be noticed. They do have security cameras on the outside of the city hall, so that would have been picked up. But it would have been a cop that would have found me in my head, that had I ended my life there, and not somebody else. As you see, it looks the pond and a lake house, and there's some cool looking ducks down there. On the other side of the kiddie park, there's a little kiddie park down there. There's a gazebo, and I usually sit there and just think about things and everything. Past few weeks, I've been by there quite a few times, just really working on my thought process about that park, because killing myself there is not a option. Killing myself, period, is not an option. I got to hang around as long as I can. I'm here for a reason, and I know that, and I really want to help others, and I'm hoping this will help others see that you can go from a dark spot and then see the light. Of everything's temporary. So that's where I was planning on ending my life, December 31st. What made me go to the hospital is my best friend had woke up in the middle of the night, and she was like, I just woke up in a cold sweat. This ain't cool. I knew at that point that I needed to go into the hospital. I saw one of my therapists that day and told him from the get-go. I didn't do the doorknob thing. I'm really good about not telling them anything until I reach the doorknob, but I told him first thing. I was like, I need to be honest with y'all. I need to let you know this is how I feel. This is what's been going on, and so went into the hospital. What led up to that? I was feeling some ideations during the suicide walk that I did around November 1st. I do remember that. A lot of it's a blur, like for real. I started having some PTSD issues. And it was because I started having flashbacks, and I knew I had to go to Clanton a couple of times, and from my childhood abuse. And then I was wanting to really go there and try to process and try to get to where I wasn't going to have anxiety, and a friend was going to go with me to help me, and that never happened. Like, I would try to psych myself up, and then it didn't happen. So every time I would psych myself up and it didn't happen, I don't know, it just kind of just did something. Then there's other personal things that I'm going through that added the stress. One's divorce, and then the other one's some financial issues, and it's just like you try to do and do and do and do and do, and it's just not good enough. Um, you know, um, you can give it your best, and sometimes you still don't feel like it's good enough, but you're on your own worst critic, and I've learned that I am my own worst critic. Like, I really am. Um, but all of that stuff led up to me having ideations. Like I said, I never got a gun. Had I been looking for a gun, like really looked, I would have. Um, I did what I did, like reached out to friends and then would check myself into the hospital. Um, because I don't want to do that to my friends ever, like ever. And I know some of them mentally, it drained them, and I know that, and I understand that, and I hate that it even happened. Um, it was honestly beyond my control. There's a lot of conversations I don't even remember having. I looked through my text messages and through the Facebook messengers and stuff at things that I had talked to people about, and it wasn't just one person, it was a couple people. And I don't know, it was a lot. I was like, I don't even remember this. It's like I was um I just don't remember it. And to try to process of why I went there and everything, it's been kind of a journey, and I've learned a lot from it. I learned a lot from it. Like, I know if I start going downhill, I just need to, like, face it, like, right then and there and just be like, no, I'm not going to go there. Because I'm not going to go there ever again. I can make that promise. Um, and it's weird because I never lost hope. Like, um, and I talked to some kids I had been talking to for a while about some issues that they've been having, and one of them even reached out to me a couple weeks ago and is like, you give me awesome advice. If you would just take your own advice, and that kind of hit home. And I reached out to a friend and I was like, look, I know how to life coach. I've been trained, like I've taken classes to do life coaching. I have taken peer support classes. Like, I help peers all the time, and I have to take my own advice. It's just that, especially if you're a leader. I mean, you just got to lead and, take your own advice. I mean, that's the best thing that, I could do. And, I've got a friend, like I said, I reached out to him and he's holding me accountable. And there's some things that I'm holding him accountable to. So, I mean, it kind of works out. It's both of us kind of working together. He's had some issues that I've got and vice versa. Um, I honestly hate that I put my friends through what I did. I don't know, really and truly. I really don't know how it even got that bad, but it did. Um, and I regret that. And I hope I don't regret that for the rest of my life because um, I know I overwhelmed some friends. And I know I tried to push some away. And I might have, you know, um, to be honest with you. Um, and people can say, well, if you did, they weren't friends and blah, 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 but they were. Um, you just try to push them away so that the impacting isn't that hard. And, but, in your head at that time, looking back, it's like, damn, because had I went through with it, they wouldn't have been able to live with themselves and they would have blamed themselves and everything. And I know how that feels because I've had some friends to die from suicide. And, there's one that happened last year in April, and I think about him every day because I talked to him the night before, and I begged him to go get help and everything. And it's just a lot. It really is. Um, even my therapist sometimes asks me how am I still here because of the post-traumatic stress disorder, the Ehlers-Danlos, which is I got chronic pain from it. Um, the being trans, people might like me, people might not like me just because I'm transitioning. I've had some people to be pretty cruel to me. That's another thing I think that had played a part, and was because I had some brutally honest people about me being trans. Just yeah. So I hope at one point that people will look at people as people, no matter if they're white, they're black, they're male, female, they're cisgendered or trans or non-gendered, whatever. Young, old. People need to look at people as people. We all bleed the same. We all have a heart. We all have eyes. We all have ears. We, you know, people are people. And you know, it just dumbfounds me at like how people perceive people because of just being different. If everybody was the same, the planet would be totally boring. And can you imagine the whole world being like me? No, no, I can't handle me sometimes. No, I'm sure some other people are like, no. I mean, I'm definitely not a cookie cutter person. All I want to do is just authentically live as myself. I want to be me. And one of my friends told me 2 weeks ago, and I heard her loud and clear. She's like, you got to get your shit together, pretty much. And why would you even want to end it now when you're starting to transition and really and truly be who you want to be? And she's right. It would be stupid. I'm just now like loving my body as it is. Like dropping weight. I don't. I've had certain surgeries, and that's helped me tremendously. Like I cannot explain like how much just like one big surgery like just changed everything. And just temporary circumstances. I mean, why would I let something temporary like take my whole life? It just doesn't make sense. And at that time, it made sense to me, but it don't make sense now. And I can assure you, I'll never go there again. I'll definitely reach out if I even start thinking like that. Like, yeah, no, mm-mm. Not gonna go there. Not no. Um, but you know, certain situations happen. I think so we learn from it, and so we can help people. And I'm thinking that that's where my work is to help others and for them to realize that they're worthy to have a healthy and safe life. So that's that. I'm going to end it because the train's coming, but I'm going to do another video on some things that help, and real shortly. So just keep a watch.